One of the things you need to do when you become self-sufficient is to learn how to preserve your crops and your food surpluses. And we've got some of our runner beans here today. We've had an okay crop this year, not as good as it was last year, but we've still got plenty of these that need preserving. And what we're going to do is we're going to salt these. So if you want to know how to salt your beans, this is what you have to do. First job to do is top and tail them, and then you need to slice them, which means I get to use my posh little bean slicer here. The beans are all now sliced, ready, and before we salt them I'm just going to have a quick word about our bean slicer, because the last time we used this in one of our videos we had lots of queries from people about who made it and where they could get them from. Well, it's made by Westmark. This is the box here, and we bought it through Lakeland Plastics here in the UK. I think they're a German company, so I don't know who supplies them outside the UK, but certainly here in the UK try Lakeland Plastics for it. Anyway, next job is actually to salt the beans. You're going to need storage jars for this, and you need to build up the bean and salt layers alternatively, like this here. As you can see, I've already started this one. You need a layer of about 4 or 5 centimetres of beans and pack it down, and then you need to add over it the salt, 2 or 3 heaped tablespoonfuls of salt should do it, and keep building it up in layers like we have there until the jar is full, but make sure you press down the beans. Well, this is one of the completed jars. As you can see, it's got the various layers in, and what happens is that the salt will extract the juices from the beans and it will form a bit of a brine solution. But it's a very good way of preserving beans because they tend to keep their texture, which you lose a bit when you put them in the freezer instead. And also you can keep them for quite some time as well. These were ones that we did last year and we're still using them, and they've still kept their texture, so they're still quite crisp when they come out. And as you can see, if I tip it to one side, you can see the brine there. So no water is added to that. That's simply a brine solution that's made from the moisture within the beans themselves. But as I say, it's a good way of preserving beans. Bit of an old-fashioned one, but for us it's useful because our freezer tends to fill up anyway, so anything that preserves without having to go into the freezer is something that we are always keen to try. Now, when you come to using them, all you do is you run them or you steep them in a bit of cold water or run them under a cold water tap for a short while, and that removes the excess salt from them.